The Luis Guzman and Casper Martinez Show.
We are two wild and crazy guys.
That's right. Sometimes they're funny.
No, seriously, did you wash your balls yet?
Sometimes they're serious.
I will recommend to people, if you can, you have a little bit of money, buy some of that stock.
But they're always real.
I'm not assuming that, I'm believing that.
And will tell you the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
The Luis Guzman and Casper Martinez Show.
Mira, mi gente,
What's
Luis
up, what's
Guzmán
up?
con Casper Martínez, jangueando contigo de nuevo. ¿Qué pasa, papá?
Once again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Luis Guzman and Casper Martinez Show. We are here once again doing our thing, talking about all kinds of stuff, local news, crazy news, weird news, and anything we want to talk about. You know, we talk with our friends. We talk with people we don't even know. We just like to talk. I mean, me gusta hablar, Louis, in case you didn't notice, bro.
Yeah. Bueno,
how you doing,
eso
bro?
Sí es cierto.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great, man.
Yeah, you good? You good? Are you having dinner tonight? Because every time we do a podcast, it seems like Louis is always eating something. Pizza, soup, sucking on something. What's going on, Louis? What are you eating today?
Right. Well, I finished. My daughter made an incredible squash vegetable soup, which I already had. I had some apples. I have some left. I have a piece of pretzel left. And drinking some water. And on your behalf, in your honor, I just dropped a gummy bear.
Awesome. We have a lot of great stories for you tonight. I want to actually start the show with something that I think me and Louis both absolutely connect with. I want to talk about the story about these dads who adopted a 17-year-old son over Zoom. You know, we're going through this whole COVID-19 thing right now where everyone's under quarantine. So this teen has been adopted by a Tennessee couple after spending 5 years in foster care. Chad and Paul Beanblossom officially became Michael's parents over a Zoom call because courts aren't open because of coronavirus concerns. And even though they couldn't be there in person, there were over 80 loved ones cheering and watching the 17-year-old's adoption online. I think that's great because sometimes, unfortunately, these kids that pass that age, you know, the reality is that we treat kids like we do with dogs in shelters because, you know, everybody wants to adopt a baby. Everybody wants someone they can mold. And then these teenagers get lost in the shuffle in the system. Louis, I know that part of your family was adopted. You want to elaborate a little on that, discuss something about how amazing adopting kids is?
Yeah, I do have 4 children that I adopted from New York City, and it's one of the most incredible things you can do. I got them both when they were 2 weeks. Got them all when they came to me 2 weeks old. We adopted them through what's called Surrender Unit, which is a woman gives birth to the child, and she signs the child over to the ward of the state, and we foster that child for a year before they become free for adoption. And so we adopted 2 boys and 2 girls.
Now, did you adopt them all at the same time, or was it
No.
different? Okay.
You know, the ones that were adopted at the same time were my twins, because obviously they were twins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so today they are 28, 26, and 24 years old, the twins.
Wow.
And it was a beautiful thing. I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking that first year because within that first 12 months, anybody from that child's family could step forward and say, I will parent that child.
Right.
And so,
and you will have to go ahead and give them over to them because they're right.
They're right, yeah. And that didn't happen, and they ended up becoming part of my family. And it was a wonderful thing, you know. It was a wonderful thing to adopt, you know. And And hearing about this young man, Michael, from Tennessee, you know, it's tough because, you know, this young man, his mother had died. The kid he went into state custody, and he lived in 9 different homes over 5 years.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's hard.
And-
That's so hard for these kids. You know, they get into the system, they get lost in the shuffle, they get transferred from family to family. Maybe the family is not adjusting to the kid. Maybe the kid's not adjusting to the family. You know, and it is tough. I mean, my parents were foster parents. That's how we ended up adopting my little sister. You know, I know a lot of people don't know this, but I have a younger sister who she was actually abandoned in the bushes downtown, over by oh my God, by what's that little park over by Bowling Green down there?
yeah, but,
you know,
yeah.
My little sister, she was whoever gave birth to her dumped her out there, and this little boy and his mom, who was a nurse, found her crying there. And at the time, my parents, they had me and my brother, but they were also foster parents because we had moved from the South Bronx to 80th Street in Madison. My father got a job as a super there, and then we had extra bedrooms. So my parents, they've always been given like that. So they decided, hey, you know, our kids are already getting older. I was already 19 out of the house, and my brother was 20, and he was out of the house too. So they started fostering kids, and every time we come over and visit them. One time we had like two little brothers. They were French, you know. Entonces it was hard for my mom to communicate with them, to know what they wanted to eat or whatever. And then we had another little baby boy, Jose, this Dominican baby who was born with crack in his system because his mom was a junkie, and he was born with you know what was going on with her, and he was with us for about a year or so. And then after that was when this baby Jane Doe, well, they call my parents because they have you registered, and they know that you have availability, and they call them up and they say, hey, we have this baby Jane Doe who was found out downtown in the park, and we need to put her somewhere. We see that you're available. Are you willing to take her in? They were like, absolutely. And it's exactly how you say. After a year, you know, they were putting newspaper articles. It was coming out in the newspaper all the time, like, you know, to see if maybe the mom would come forward, or if anybody knew who her family was. And then after a year, they called my father, and they were like, well, listen, you know, we're calling you, Mr. Martinez, to let you know that, you know, they're going to put Veronica out for adoption. And my father got very defensive really quickly. He was like, no, what you mean? No, she stay here, you know, because my father's English is like that. He was like, she stay here, no. And they were like, no, Mr. Martinez, that's what we were calling you for. We wanted to know, we wanted to ask you first, do you want to go ahead and move forward with adoption? And he goes, that's my daughter, you know, and that was it. You know, my little sister became my little sister. And, you know, I always tell her she's Puerto Rican by no choice, but ironically enough, esa era más boricua que yo, because, you know, she was born in New York, clearly, but her teenage years, my parents had moved to Puerto Rico for a while, and she lived out there. She went to the uni out there, you know. So you see this white little girl. I say she's either Russian or Ukrainian, porque hincha, ojo verde. And you talk to my little sister Veronica, and she's like, pero mira, chico, this and that. And it cracks me up because she's really embraced being Puerto Rican. I love that about her, you know. She lives in South Carolina right now, but, you know, we gave her an opportunity. We gave her a life, and I love people who adopt. I love people who give these kids chances. This one kind of really, I love this story because this kid was 17 years old, and like I said, sometimes in the system when you're all like that, you get lost in the shuffle. You might not ever get adopted, you know. And
Yeah, I mean, you know,
family.
and you know the crazy thing about young people who are in the foster care system is that what happens is that they age out.
Yep.
You know, once they hit 18, they get kicked out of foster care.
Yep.
You know?
No help or nothing. It's like, you're an adult, go figure it out.
And I just want to tell you that in the state of Texas, a lot of kids that age out in foster care end up in in those they end up getting in those sex rings. What's that called?
Wow.
There's a name for it, but anyway, because they don't have any place, so these predators come and they take these kids in and drug them up and give them alcohol and a place to live, and and it's really sad. The foster care system in this country needs to do better, because just because a kid turns 18 years old, you kick them out into the street, then you're creating another level of homelessness,
Absolutely, absolutely. They don't have any family. They don't have that those roots where those of us who have parents can leave home and try to live our life. And if something ever happens, we still have that there. We still can always go back to mommy and papi for a little while, regroup, and then go back out to society. Because you have that. You have a home. A lot of these kids don't have that, and they find it in those rings, like you say. I'm not sure what verbiage you were trying to find.
Sex
when
trafficking.
They do the whole sex trafficking. Yeah, unfortunately, these kids get lost into that world, because then these pimps, they're looking at them as, well, they're feeding me, or they're giving me a roof over my head, so I'll go ahead and do what needs to be done to stay with this, and it's so unfortunate.
Well, they ain't got no place to go. They ain't got no place to go, but I'm just happy for the Bean Blossom family, being able to adopt Michael, and so that's a beautiful, wonderful
Absolutely.
thing. So, Chad and Paul, I tip my hat to you for adopting Michael.
And it's awesome because apparently Michael was kind of labeled somewhat of a trouble kid, and the new dads, Chad and Paul, they just say, well, he just kind of came in and took over our hearts. He's taught us just as much, if not more, than we have him. And it's really hard to imagine our lives without him. So again, Chad and Paul, thank you guys for doing that. And for those of you out there, if you're ever thinking about adopting, do a little research, see if in your community what kind of organizations are out there, so you can go ahead and give some of these kids a fair chance in life.
A chance, an opportunity, So, yeah, there we go.
That's awesome. Well, we'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to the Luis Guzman.
What messages?
Oh, yeah.
We got messages?
We have a lot of messages.
And Casper Martinez show.
Coronavirus, the virus frontier. These are the journeys of the people who are terrified of COVID-19. Their mission, to wash their hands, to stay 6 feet away from other people, to not go to sporting events, to stay away from farmers markets, to do the Vulcan sign instead of shaking hands, to keep staying home because they probably lost their job anyway, to boldly not be allowed to go where they were allowed to go before.
He only speaks to his family on Zoom. When somebody coughs, he calls the police. When he goes to the grocery store, he wears a full hazmat suit. He wears a mask during lovemaking, again via Zoom. He is the most socially distanced man in the world.
I don't always social distance. Just kidding, yes I do. Stay apart, my friends.
Welcome back to the Luis Guzman and Casper Martinez show. Louis is in the house. Aquí jangueando del show. I love this show because we basically do whatever the fuck we want and however the hell we want to. We don't have anything really structured. It's not like FM radio. We just get to do whatever we want. Tonight we have a dear friend. He is family of the show. This guy used to host Me TRL back in the days. He's one of the type 5 on the Spanish Aquí Presents podcast. Some of you remember him as the Metro PCS guy, but right now
that was him. Oh
Yep,
shit!
it was him,
Oh,
Louis.
shit.
It was him. You know, and I'm
Okay.
going to bring something up in a couple of minutes after we introduce him. But he is currently playing Chris Morales on Gentefied on Netflix.
I love
Please
that
welcome
show. Oh
our
my
brother
God.
from another mother,
Oh my
Carlos
God.
Santos is in the house.
Carlos Santos! What's
So
up,
much.
Papito? How are you, brother?
¿Qué está pasando?
Yes.
Louis, your
Aquí.
head's blowing up. You didn't realize I was a Metro PCS guy.
No.
Nah.
Here's the funny thing, Carlos, and I'm going to shout him out right now. I tell him the other day, I just spoke to Carlos Santos on WhatsApp to bring him on the show, and Louis is like, who's that, bro? And I'm like, what the fuck you mean, who's that? And then, here's the funny thing, because after I go, Carlos, you introduced me to him, bro. I was like, seriously. We went to meet TRL, and that's the first time that I had met Carlos was through Louis.
Yeah.
Entonces, I break down, and then he go, I just did his podcast. And I'm like, how the fuck you not going to know who the hell
Está bien.
Carlos Santos is?
¿Tú sabes cuántos Carlos Santos hay en esta
Bro,
vida?
brother,
There's too many
hay
Carlos
como
Santos in this world.
18, brother, 18.
Yeah.
Mira que uno,
That's just-
one lives on the other side of the hill, so fíjate.
Exactly. No, I
You
get
know?
it. I get it. I don't have the
I will
most,
never forget this
unique
Carlos Santos.
name. Yeah.
Yo, I just want to let everybody know that I seen this brother, growing up in this business, and we did some comedy stuff together a couple years ago in LA. And but we've seen each other in different places and stuff like that. I don't think he could dance, but that's okay. But
He just shouted you out, Carlos.
It's serviceable at best.
We'll pick up. We'll take that back. But I was doing this comedy thing, and Carlos was part of it. But I also see him in a few other little things, a few shows and stuff. And I always said, this young man, he got it. He's going. He's on the way. And I said that to you on your podcast. And four or three other people had to listen to that because they were like, Coño, what he gonna
And
say
then you have to
about
go one by
me?
one, giving them props too to balance it out.
Viste, because oh my God, that's like you got all these kids, you got all your children, and it's Christmas Day, and that's Carlos getting his gift, and everybody's waiting.
I think the last time I actually saw Carlos was in Orlando here when he was promoting Ghost Team 1. He
back
came
in
down to
2013.
Kaku.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with Moonshadow and myself then. It's been a minute.
Yeah, bro, but I am really, really, really proud of you.
Thank you, man.
De veras,
That
de
means a lot.
corazón,
Come on. I mean, yeah.
And
also,
so,
and like we're excited because, as you know, we got picked up for another season, so that's official.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, that's right. Just
we
recently,
were holding
Gentefied
on to
announced.
this. Yeah, we were waiting to hear what Netflix had to say about it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that. So what was the deal? Why the hold up? Because I saw the entire first season of Gentefied, and I love when I see Latino stories. I love when we see ourselves on. And then this story was awesome because it's a working family. Going through what a lot of Latino neighborhoods go through.
Yeah, the struggles,
being
man.
gentrified. Louis knows about that with the Lower East Side. I'm from the South Bronx, and we've seen how our neighborhoods have been little by little being gentrified. Everything is coffee shops and all these yuppies or millennials or whatever the hell you want to call it, little boutiques,
They're popping out.
And left and right. So what took Netflix so long to say, hey man, we want to go ahead and make another season on this?
I'm gonna say it's the quarantine.
Okay.
Blame it on the quarantine.
Good question. I mean, good answer.
Yeah, because and honestly, like we were supposed to have an answer like a long time ago, so we knew that everything was kind of like on hold for a lot of things on Netflix on their end. But we were we felt good about the support immediate, like we felt good on our end because it really like we saw the positive response from people, so we were happy from the get-go. So that kept us a little, I kept thinking to myself, well, why give out the news for a second season if we still have to sit here like idiots and wait for months to get started?
But you know what? I think now we could just reflect on that and move forward because, it's a tribute to the show, to your writers, to the actors, you know, and to what these stories represent, you know. So, man, I say pa'lante, you know. Congratulations to you, your cast and crew, and you know all the producers of that show, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for a second season. I almost said I can't wait to work with you, Carlos. Oh yeah.
To what?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, you know, but
let me find out that Louis in every damn TV show and every movie, and he's begging to be on Carlos' show.
I mean, I'm down for that. You know, it's funny because I never forgot this when you remember, Louis, you had a sitcom.
Yeah,
back
Louis
in the day.
Fox.
And there was
back
a promo
in the day,
that has
it
never
was called
left
the Louis Show.
my brain. Yeah, and there was a promo, and one of the promos there was like a thing where you're walking through the apartment hallway. You were calling somebody. You went, and that never that's been in my brain ever since. That promo of you whistling to get. I don't know why it just popped into my brain.
Are you okay?
Just let you know that stuff like that.
Did it damage you?
No. I'm just saying that you pick up certain things and they never leave your brain, and that's one of them. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, people used to ask me, "How do you whistle like that?" You know, when we were kids growing up, you had to know how to whistle because that was the signal. Yeah,
every family had a whistle. Yeah.
Yep, we didn't have cell phones. It was whistles, and you had different whistles for different situations.
That's true.
Carlos, you know how to whistle like that?
Yeah, for sure. My family had two whistles. My mom's whistle was a little softer. It was, but my dad's whistle was like this. It was like that.
Oh wow!
And you could hear that for miles.
You see that whistle right there? That's the whistle they used to use in my neighborhood when the weed dealers were in the corner and the cops were coming.
Yeah,
it was that whistle.
Yeah, but it is true, man.
Maria.
You could hear people's whistles in the neighborhood, and you knew exactly when it was your dad calling you, and you would just hear it and run. Yeah, so I grew up with that family whistles.
Where'd you grow up, bro?
En Levittown, en Puerto Rico.
En Levittown,
mano.
En Levittown. Yeah, like Rio Hondo, Bayamón, like that area. I was
okay.
Much...
Yeah, my Titi Lydia lived in Levittown when I went to see her back in. Oh man, when did I? Back in I don't know, the late '80s, early '90s, around there.
Right on.
I don't think you was born yet.
I was. I'm older than a little.
I'm glad that Carlos said where he's from because he has that whole bit when in his stand-up comedy days. I'm not sure if you're still doing stand-up comedy but you had that bit about where you from, and I would be that asshole because I have no idea. I was born in the South Bronx in New York, so when they go, mira este boricua, where you from? And they'd be like Ponce, and I'm thinking I don't even know.
No, if it's not San Juan or Ponce, then forget it. Those are the two. That's where you're from. Is that close to Ponce? Okay.
Sí. Eso por San Juan. Qué chévere, qué
Then
chévere.
I don't know it.
Hay un aeropuerto ahí llegan por avión. También, sí, okay.
Sí, hay uno allá, el resto es parking.
Ya. Mira, parquéate el carro allí en Cuamo. En Cuamo y coge la yegua. Yeah.
La última vez que yo estaba en Puerto Rico, the last time I was in Puerto Rico was 1984, man.
Damn.
So why are you even talking to us, Casper?
Are you waiting for the flights to go and get?
See it. I'm just waiting for. No, I'm traumatized because the last time I went to Puerto Rico, we still were allowed to take our goddamn chickens and a whole bunch of shit with us into the planes. And I always try to figure out, why do we always clap? Like, are we just happy that we landed?
Yeah.
Because that's a big Boricua thing.
That's a Caribbean thing. I feel like Dominicans do the same thing too.
Let me tell you. I clap porque venían medio cagado and shit,
It's releasing anxiety and stress by clapping.
Ahora se me fue la presión. Ahora estoy bien. Llegamos.
We are
You know what used to kill me about coming back to New York from Puerto Rico?
What?
The guy that bought in the paper shopping bag a freaking lechon that's cooked already, and he put that shit in the overhead compartment And for 3 fucking hours,
You smell
all
it,
you
man.
waiting for that motherfucker to go to the bathroom so you can jump out your seat. Coge un
It's like Ocean's 11. It's like a heist trying to get the lechon.
Bro, just to get the fucking cuerito. That's it. You want cuerito, you know.
But it's so true because mira, en esas épocas, my family would bring pasteles with them on the flight. You know that.
Yeah, you could still bring pasteles, bro.
As long as they're frozen.
Yeah, if they're frozen, you know, brazo gitano. My parents used to bring mad brazo gitanos from Mayagüez over to the crib because they're like, they don't have that here. They don't have it here, you know. All the candies, because in Puerto Rico they have all those sing en boca and the little those little red popsicles, you know.
Oh my God! Well,
yeah, el pilón.
Oh my God!
Gofio, you know.
Yeah.
So, bro, what you been up to these days, man? Tell me again.
Me? Just sitting around, man. Just waiting.
Well, since you're sitting around and we know you love Oreos, let's talk about Oreos, bro, because you have some kind of obsession with. You know that when I go on your Instagram, I bring a gallon of milk to sit down and watch all your Oreo fucking pictures.
It's honestly the dumbest bit that I've committed to for the longest. I put a dumb post back in 2016, and it just became a thing, and I'm trying to run it, see how far I can take it. And so far, it's 2020, and here we are.
Yep.
Just
still
putting
doing the
different
Oreo
Oreos, you know, see what I can find, and it's just become like a bit that's. I can't get out of that. I can't get out of that train now. I gotta see it to the end.
It's like this is the song that never ends. So it's like this is the beat that never ends. But I mean,
I like Oreo. I like Oreo, but I like Cameo better. Like for real, like Cameo is the cookie like from Puerto Rico. I don't know if you know. Cameo is like per capita. I think it sells the same amount of the la población de Puerto Rico. So it's like 33 million units sold every year. It's insane.
Nice.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, but they don't have they don't have as many flavors as Oreo.
No,
though.
there's just one flavor, but that's it. But I think it's tied to my nostalgia because my grandfather used to eat them, and my dad, you know. So like, I feel like that's why there's a lot of nostalgia.
Let me ask you, is that Puerto Rican owned? That company,
but
they make it in Puerto Rico?
Only had. No, I think it's not Nabisco originally, where it was in Puerto Rico, but I think it was from Canada. I read up on it. But literally, Puerto Rico was the only place out of the entire world that was continuously buying Cameo. Like for a long time, you couldn't find them in the US.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder why.
Puerto Rico had brand loyalty. They stick to something, and that's it. That's why they still call it Pampers and not pañales.
They put heroin in that shit. That's what
Probably.
they did.
Yeah, that's messed up because I just looked it up and it said Nabisco discontinued the Cameo cookie sometime in 2012.
Yeah.
For the reason of lack of sales. That's bullshit, bro. They
had to bring it back. I have my mom just sent me one. They sell them in Orlando. Anywhere there's like a big Puerto Rican population, they have to have a Cameo. They can't mess around. I only get them in Puerto Rico or in Orlando.
Yeah, because Orlando is little Puerto Rico.
Pretty much.
People used to say, oh, the biggest town in Puerto Rico is el sur del Bronx because el condado de la salsa, that's where all the Boricuas were at. But no, Orlando, I live in Daytona, Florida, so I know exactly, this is Puerto Rico here.
But that was like the second precision, yeah. What's it?
Carlos, I have a question, man. I'd be interested in knowing if you could tell people, could you take us through the process that you went through to get the role on Gentefied?
Oof.
And what it was like for you?
I auditioned.
You got the part, Papi, so you could talk about it, okay?
Yeah, no, I totally have no problem talking about it. Well, as you know, this was my first, or as many of you know, because a lot of people don't know who I am. This is my first series regular role ever in my lifetime. And so when you are in the industry, it's hard I basically did a huge leap because I only had a handful of co-stars and guest stars. And a lot of times networks get a little nervous when they want to give series regulars to actors that don't have enough credits. So I knew that going into it. But also 2019 was the first year in my whole life. I had always been saying this to myself, which was like, I was always kind of nervous about the theatrical auditions and for commercial stuff, which like Metro PCS and shit like that. Like I've always been able to like work in commercials because I really honestly just didn't care. And that allowed me to have a certain amount of confidence. And I would never be able to match that in my theatrical auditions. And something clicked in 2019. And I don't think it's a coincidence. It was the first time when I went into pilot season really not caring anymore or just being the right amount of jaded. I feel like we all have to be a little dead inside to have success. But the right amount. So I went in and that confidence, I think it ended up, I started testing for a bunch of different shows and I ultimately ended with Gentefied. But the actual battle was interesting because originally the production people like were on board, but Netflix was not convinced because I didn't have enough credits and I totally understood. So they kept calling me back. I had to come back like 5 or 6 times to prove that I was the right person for the role. And the whole time I was not feeling, I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, yeah, I don't have anything to, like, even my management was like, yeah, he doesn't have anything to hide. Keep calling him back if you want. Cause he's, you know, I never, so like, so it was interesting because obviously I didn't have anything to, as you know, like that, I understand that that's a huge leap and a huge step for me. And they are, in fact, as a business, they're taking a gamble on somebody that doesn't have the same amount of credits as Joaquin Cosio or even JJ Soria. You know, like they're like, they've been working for a while. So yeah, so that was it, man. I was just kind of locked in, and but it took me a long time. It took me almost like after leaving MTV and starting to just focus on acting, it took me a while to really get to that zone in and to that like confidence of like not really caring about theatrical auditions, and so thankfully it paid dividends, and so here we are.
Now, before Gentefied, you said you were auditioning for pilot scene. Were there any other opportunities that you were auditioning for that you almost got? And the reason I'm asking that is because
oh my God, Casper, are you going to really ask him that question?
No.
Are you really going to ask him that question?
Here's the thing.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Why are you going to the past like that? No.
I want to know how humiliated he felt, bro.
I got your back, papi. Tranquilo.
Carlos joining on the fucking show. We need the ratings, bro.
No. What happened in 2002? I don't even know.
No.
Okay.
In 2002.
Excuse me, Casper. Casper, excuse me. Hey, Carlos.
Hey.
So my question to you is...
Let me get on my soapbox for a minute.
Espera.
Ajá.
Coño.
Manzana.
Qué puta. Anyway, listen.
Cuero sucio.
Okay.
Listen, Carlos. So tell me about stand-up, man. How do you do it? What's your? Is there a process? I mean.
Yeah, and I will come back to Casper. I haven't forgotten about you, Casper.
No.
No. Because I did not want to go back. You don't
want to go back. I do.
Okay.
I have shit to say.
I don't mind talking about all of the topics. It's all good.
Okay, dale, papi, dale.
But on the stand-up, no, it's always been that, like improv, stand-up, sketch. These are all things that I've been kind of working on for a long time. And I think with stand-up, it's always been seasonal for me. Because I was a host for almost 7 years, so I focused on that while I was still doing comedy. I think they're just like tools and instruments that I use to exercise my comedy demons. And so I never stopped doing anything, but I feel like I had a natural way into improv in the last 5 years because I got into UCB, and so which is what led to Spanish Aquí Presents and all that stuff. So I've been kind of honoring my energy towards that, which I think it's definitely taken me in a very specific path, which I mean I'm with like doing the podcast and doing the live shows, which we got to do with Louis. That's all part of it. Not to say that I haven't stopped like writing and doing. Actually, I just performed right before I did a set at the Laugh Factory with Eric Rivera. The Brownish, she just started doing a show at the Laugh Factory right before the lockdown. So that was like the last time I performed some stand-up. But I mean, obviously I've been doing it for a while, so the process is always ever changing. Sometimes you do topical, sometimes you start talking about personal stuff, sometimes you just want to be goofy. I originally started with like Pablo Francisco was one of like the biggest influences that I had. So it was a lot of like, like impersonations and sound effects that like cue me. So yeah, it's a whole thing.
Can I just Casper, just like a smidget of a question, please, for me? I just a smidget. So what?
I don't even want to do this show anymore.
What's the most awkward moment that you have gone through doing stand-up?
For me or for Casper?
No, for you. For you.
Oh,
For you. I don't care about Casper. I mean, I care about him.
No, you don't give two fucks, bro. You don't even let me ask my question, bro. Why am I even on this show? Go ahead,
Because you love me. And Carlos. Go ahead, Carlos.
I think, I mean, we've all had like weird, like, I've had definitely some weird tests. I did a like a fundraiser one time in New York when I was still at MTV, but it was at the docks. It was like, they just basically put like tarp around the docks, and it was this whole fundraiser event. There were helicopters flying around. The thing was like moving around. It was like extreme sport stand up. It was one of the weirdest, like, just like literally like moving around, like back and forth, trying to do my stand up while people were like in place trying to listen. I love times where I get announced and they announce the wrong name, so like it kills everything. Like they call somebody else's name, but it's supposed to be me.
That's fucked up.
I mean, I've done stand up at the park, and I had like an old lady one time literally walk in between me and the crowd. And I was just like, "Hey, what's up?" And she just like flipped me off. I was like, "Yep, that's New York. Awesome." So like we've all, it's always fun. Like I never shy away from awkward situations. I swim in it. I swim in the awkward perfectly.
Yeah.
There
That's
you go.
cool.
Louis, can I ask my question now?
Yeah, please, Casper, go ahead.
Okay. No, what I was getting to, Carlos, was that you auditioned for all these networks.
You were marinating, right? Casper?
Yeah, no, but poco exploto, puñeta, because they don't let me get my question out, bro.
So you were marinating. Okay, that's the question.
During pilot season, it kind of sucks because what I was saying about 2002 was at that time I had co-produced a movie named Manito, and it was in Sundance. There was a lot of heat. I moved to my buddy's garage in Sherman Oaks. He was playing Richie on King of Queens.
Okay.
His name's Larry Romano, and I'm living in his garage. My manager's taking me out to all these auditions. I had this one audition. Apparently, Adam Sandler and oh my God, Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald. The
from SNL.
Right. So Norm, they were doing a show for NBC with him. I auditioned for it. Right. I leave the audition with my manager 5 minutes into getting into the fucking garage. Before we leave the lot, they call her and they're like, "Hey, we want to see him again this afternoon. We really liked him." I had really no credits,
right.
And I'm excited about the whole shit. About an hour after that, my manager calls and says, "No, they shit canned the whole thing. Adam's gonna go ahead and do another project." So my question to you was, have you had those moments where you're like, "Coño, I got this," and mwah, 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 shit fell apart? And
that's so fucking cliche, Casper. That's so cliche. But go ahead.
Louis, you know what? Why don't you just eat for the rest of the show? Because that's what Louis does on this show. Louis just fucking eats while we interview people.
He's like chewing on stuff.
I'm eating a piece of apple in your honor, okay?
The loudest of the fruits.
Yeah. So while Louis sucking on an apple, go ahead and talk to us.
I've been definitely very close over the years. You always get to these things where like you test and it's between you and somebody else.
And then somebody else gets it.
Yeah, right. Or, but then like I've also like, I don't get it, but also like the pilot doesn't get picked up. I still haven't had like a thing where a show has like gone on to become a thing and I was like, that could have been me. So maybe that's for the better. The one that counts is Gentefied and I got it. So I'm happy to be doing that. But yeah, for sure. Like I could tell you like my closest friends know the like that whole thing. Like I'm not even going to talk about the fact of getting close to the things. What happens to me, and it probably happens to a lot of actors too, is like I have this like Murphy's Law that whenever I plan any flights or travel or anything, all of the opportunities in Hollywood come knocking, and then it forces me to cancel or not, like lose money. Like it happens to me so much. There are times where I was like, oh, I'm not going to get, I auditioned for something, I didn't get it. So I plan on a trip for like vacation because, you want to be a human being that's not just sitting in your house waiting for the next call sometimes, and having to literally bail on a whole Europe trip because they called you back for a test that then they sat on it and then they ended up, so I canceled the thing, but then they ended up moving it a week after, and so I could have gone. It's like a bunch of like that. But it's part of the, it's part of the thing. It's part of the process. I feel like. For
Yeah.
sure.
Are you
That's a
are you
system.
happy with that answer, Casper?
Well, it's the answer he gave. So what can I do, bro? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat
I
him to
thought he
give me
was very
another answer,
articulate.
bro.
He was very
Yeah, yeah.
articulate. Yeah.
I don't think he was
I love it.
authentic, but yeah, he was articulate, bro. He bullshitted
Bro,
us
you're
a little,
judging
but it's
him.
okay.
That's not cool. That's
Oh,
not
I
cool.
love the side commentary.
Está cabrón. Está
The
cabrón.
show has side commentary, audio
Coño.
commentary happening at the same time.
Isn't it
Yo,
crazy?
so what-
We're talking
what-
about you like you're not even here, bro.
Right.
Okay.
I love it.
Carlos, pregunta. Oh, you from Levittown, okay. But what's your go-to spot in Puerto Rico? And why?
Okay, so for
What's your go-to?
for everything, like in general, like for
Nah,
hanging out?
like your go-to spot.
Okay,
God,
that's a good question,
whenever I go to
Louis.
Puerto Rico,
That's how it's described. Your go-to spot outside of Levittown. Like if you want to, vamos a hanguear aquí.
Isla Verde, for
Where-
sure.
Okay.
Actually, I've been spending a lot of time. I have some friends that live in Isla Verde, so I hang out there by the beach, which is fantastic. Right next to the airport. But my go-to
I'm
spot
gonna
is I always
Google
try
it.
to go. Yeah, Isla Verde, of course. I always go to Lemis. It's una repostería. It's una panadería. It has the best pan sobao.
Oh, yeah.
In the
Yeah,
history
yeah.
of pan sobao. So I definitely try to make a stop when I go there. It's
I've been
had
there.
that bread mailed over. Like that is
No,
to me,
hold
like, the
on.
one thing but it is in
Oh,
Levittown.
no.
Yeah.
Wow. How about Crash Boat? You ever been to Crash Boat?
Oh yeah. I went to Mayagüez, the University of Mayagüez allá de Puerto Rico, and so on the way there, which is Aguadillas, on the way to Mayagüez,
Sí.
we would always stop by it. And it got really decimated, unfortunately, with the hurricane. But it used to be,
Oh, yeah.
It used
No,
to be-
my father lives in Aguadilla. And I went
on.
to check out Crash Boat right after the hurricane. I was devastated, bro. Everything was gone. Like there were huge boulders, and there was hardly no beach, and all the trees were gone. And ahí where the los pescadores traen los pescados, la pescadería, bro. That is made out of thick cement with iron rods going through that rebar.
Yeah.
Bro, it was like just busted
Gone.
up. The ocean busted it up. So and the only tree that was standing on the beach, I'll never forget, all the leaves were gone, but it was still standing, and it came back, was a tamarindo tree.
Wow, my favorite.
A tamarindo tree. So okay, yeah, man. Casper?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about Mayagüez. My father's from Mayagüez. He's from Dulce Labia. What's the stigma with Mayagüez? They apparently say that like that's where all the gay guys come from. I don't know what the hell this deal with, because I know that every part of Puerto
Damn, that
Rico,
is
there's
like old
the
school,
cari-
like 80s, like
yeah.
wearing green on Thursday, like.
I just finished telling you the last time I was in Puerto Rico was 1984.
Yeah, you
bro.
should. Literally, you're so close. You could just hop over and
And
just.
you were hanging out in Mayagüez, of course.
Yeah.
Yep, in Dulce
Okay.
Labia, my grandmother's house. In Rio
You think you
Piedra,
had
where my
something to
mom's
do
from.
with it, though?
What, being gay?
No, I mean that whole myth. If it's a myth or that theory.
Well,
You
I don't
think
know.
you
I
had-
just wanted to know, since you guys go there more than I do. I was like, so what's the stigma with that? What was up with that crap?
I mean,
Why would you know? Why would you know that we go there more than you?
Because you guys just said that you go to Puerto Rico all the time. I mean, I'm
I
actually
didn't say
listening to
anything
this
about.
show.
I didn't say. I
Ay,
really.
Luisito,
Well,
me quedo
obviously
cojones,
you would.
chao.
If you were listening, you would know that I did not say I hang out in Mayagüez.
No,
I'm
you
talking
didn't.
about Crash
You said
Boat.
Puerto
That's in it.
Puerto Rico.
So you assume, Carlos. I am so sorry about
Well, that's
this.
all right. That's
I am so sorry.
I can
bro.
tell you guys are
You
thriving.
know? Okay, Casper.
I almost got
focus.
arrested
We
in
have
Puerto
got-
Rico
we have-
for having a yellow shirt and blue pants, because apparently that was the school colors of some school around there in Mayagüez. And the cops stopped me, and I'm like, dude, I'm from New York. I don't know what the hell you guys talking about. They were like, oh, okay, because the school is, I guess, open in August over there, and
La escuela pública.
Yeah, and I had the yellow shirt and the blue jeans on, and I was like, I had no idea. I mean, I know Bloods and Crips apparently in Puerto Rico wearing a yellow shirt and blue pants. You know, you couldn't do that in that area.
Yeah, you gotta go back, man, because there's a lot of updates to all the stuff that you.
Yeah.
For
I'm sure. You know.
Yeah, they don't have
to update. They don't, like I'm on Windows 1. You know.
There you go. You're on the. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah.
Go ahead. You were trying to snap on me and you fell apart like a cheap Alexander sweater. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, you know
Trying
what,
to make
Casper?
jokes on
You've
me.
been trying to say that, and I was so happy that I set it up for you. So there.
Carlos
So
is coming on
there.
the show and going, "Why the fuck am I here?"
I feel like just happy to be an ancillary portion of the show.
So
Let's
okay.
get back to your Oreos, bro.
Carlos.
Dime.
What is your go-to salsa song? Tell me that one.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
That's good.
And I'm not asking you because I want you. I don't want. It's not about alienating anybody. I just want to know the song.
Well, I feel like it's different. We're in the 90s. Like there was such a with Gilberto Santa Rosa, Jerry Rivera. Like I feel like that's to my childhood. It's like what resonates. So a lot of that.
I mean,
Eddie
to me,
Santiago.
oh yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
And then but then Mark Anthony, when like he popped off at the end of the 90s and into like 2000, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I mean, the old school, yeah, it's great, but I didn't grow up with it. So it's kind of like in the background. Obviously, we wouldn't have the 90s salsa if it wasn't for the 70s salsa movement. But I'm just trying to think of like sincerely like what pops off in my head. Like Gran Combo, obviously.
Oh yeah, bro.
Con habichuela.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was
Stuff
okay.
like that.
Okay.
Arroz con habichuela y vende lo que hay.
Eso es lo que hay. Wepa. Okay, cool. You know, Casper. Are you
No,
still here?
I'm just really engaged in your Barbara Walters questions here. You break my balls
Barbara
about the
Walters.
audition.
Barbara
You know,
Walters.
and then what's your favorite salsa song?
You know why he said that, Carlos?
What?
You know what, Carlos? You know why he's saying that? You know why he said that?
Why?
Because he thinks he wants to get it in my brain that because he said Barbara Walters question that it's going to really spike his ratings.
Got it.
It's
a trigger. It's a trigger word.
Because somebody's going to Google something somebody said about Barbara Walters, and boom, that's going to pop up. You know, so Casper, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Bringing Barbara Walters. That's the campaign. Bring Barbara Walters back, bro.
Way to go, Casper. We have a guest, okay?
Why? Why do we even have a guest? Because you don't let me ask him questions, bro. I mean,
Bro,
any question
you're
I
not
ask
asking
is stupid.
You just said that I'm asking Barbara Walters question. Bro, my man just ran off people like Danny Rivera, Gilberto Santa Rosa.
He didn't even mention Danny Rivera.
Excuse me.
At no point in time was Danny in the conversation. It was Jerry Rivera. You know,
Okay,
cara niño, puñeta.
Him too. They got the same last name. Fuck you.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, those Riveras. Jerry.
But they're both talented.
Danny.
We know that. They're both talented. We know that, okay?
Johnny, whichever one of
But
the
anyway,
Riveras.
Casper, my point is people need to hear these names. You know? We are providing a service. You know,
Absolutely.
we're passing along information, knowledge,
Googling like
and
crazy,
we're asking Carlos, you know? And you got to throw in that I'm a Barbara Walters question. Bro,
Oh, you
I
still-
don't
you
know.
still butthurt,
Excuse
bro?
me.
You still
Excuse me.
This segment's
I don't-
sponsored by Preparation H because Louis still butthurt.
And look where you go to. Preparation H. Great.
Suck on another
Great.
apple and I'll ask him another question. How about that, bro? How about
Okay.
that? Métete
Coño.
una manzana, pu-
Carlos, perdona.
Happy to be here, you guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah. It's all love. I just love that we can buzz balls and just talk whatever. the hell
No,
we
no,
want,
no. Esto es personal. Vete para el carajo, coño. Esto es personal.
He's like,
Yeah,
Louis like, yo, this
yeah.
is the last episode of this podcast we're doing, bro.
No, you know
Oh, my
what,
God.
Casper and Carlos, may I? Casper, I've loved this episode. The three of us. Beautiful.
But what's your go-to salsa song, Louis? Just out of curiosity.
Mine. I'm gonna say "Vuelvo a Nacer" by Frankie Ruiz.
Wow,
Okay.
man.
Vuelvo a nacer. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Oh, well, mine. Oh, sure, mine. No, I'm just kidding. I have no go-to salsa song. I
No,
really
you
don't.
probably say something from AC/DC.
No. There's actually one song. I don't even know why, because I haven't had any ridiculous breakup like that. But
So why-
Juguete de Nadie by Puerto Rican Power. I just love that song. I don't know. It's a cool jam and
Okay.
I like it.
I feel like when I was
Nice.
in New
Dance to
York,
it.
I lived in New York for like 4 years, and everywhere I went, they always at some point played Aguanile. I feel like that's the go-to.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the go-to song.
It's
Aguanile.
And it still is, because I used to host Orchard Beach in the summer, and they always Ralphie Mercado Jr., the DJ, there would always throw that.
Listen to this, Carlos. Casper, did you ever go into the water at Orchard Beach?
Actually, the only time I went near
The only
water at Orchard
time
Beach
near the
was with
water
you.
was with me.
was with you. Yeah, when you came down with your kids.
Wow.
Remember that one time when I was hosting it at Orchard and you came down with the kids?
But okay, so you never been in the water in Orchard Beach?
No, not really.
Why
It's
not?
freezing.
And you grew up in the fucking Bronx.
You know why? Because
Why?
you would go in the water at Orchard Beach and you come back out and there's a floating diaper and some hypodermic needles. But you do you, bro. You do you. You know, because Orchard Beach is nasty as fuck.
Well, you know what? You know what? My childhood, when I went, the water was pretty fucking clean. Okay?
That's
'cause
why
we
it was
were
called
tripping on
Orchard Beach, because
mushrooms.
there were apples just like,
Yeah,
floating around.
exactly.
No shit.
No,
acá.
when Louis went to Orchard Beach, when was that?
Oh, boy,
1943?
here we go. 29, cabrón.
Okay.
1929.
Right during the Depression. You know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We went there to relieve our minds. Went into the water.
I'm serious. I
it
grew
was
up in the
clean.
Bronx, but Orchard Beach is nasty as fuck. I would never go into that water.
You know, Carlos, he's so right. He's so fucking right.
You can't even argue that when it's true.
No, they used to call it Caca Beach.
La Playa Los Mojones. That's
La
what they used to
playa.
call it.
Yeah, no, the little kids.
They call it
the
several
little
things.
kids.
Like,
The little kids used to call it Caca Beach.
they call it Chocha Beach, La Playa Los Mojones.
Okay.
Oh,
What else?
wow.
I
You
can't
know.
wait to check it out.
Yeah. It's so exciting. It sounds enticing.
Mira,
Really, you're selling the TripAdvisor.com over here.
ponte tres condom y un tapón por el fundillo, brother, por acaso.
Yo, no, but on the real, that
Y
beach
no
is nasty.
sople, no sople.
Yeah. No.
The beach is only good to go and hang out, but you know it's also ghetto because I worked that beach for about 11 years, and I used to crack up that all these dudes come into the beach and they're wearing Timberlands, and I'm like, why are you wearing boots at the beach?
I
you know?
remember those guys. I remember those guys.
I never got that shit, and then I used to break on. No, and I used to bust their balls on stage because the Latin Kings would be there, and they're all dressed in their black and yellow, looking like bumblebees. You know, King Skeeby, which was one of the guys that was part of the Latin Kings, would always be there with all his gold chains. Like the guy would have like 300 pounds of gold chains at the beach.
Damn.
I'm like, what's this about?
Was
You know,
somebody
but
like helping him walk?
with all that weight? Nah,
some
nah.
assistance.
Oh, no. Okay, got signed there, Casper.
Sounds
What
like a
happened?
fantastic place to be.
Yeah. Listen, but put that as one of the places you need to go to, and then cancel the
list.
trip. You know.
Yeah, there you go. You won't feel so bad. You know.
I'm down for that.
So you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do actually. I wanted to follow up on your farming. What is your goal? Do you have a goal in mind, or are you just kind of letting nature tell you what to grow?
Nah, man, I'm being mentored by my daughter, who she's pretty much the one that's growing everything. I'm just helping her putting it together. But then I want to help once we start planting stuff. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, kale, onions, carrots. You name it, and it's mushrooms, and it just gives you something to do, but also you're providing for yourself, and you're learning how to do that, and you take care of yourself so much better that way.
I'm sure it's therapeutic too to be outside like doing that stuff. That's gotta feel
Oh
good.
yeah, man, absolutely.
Carlos,
it's work.
Just a disclaimer,
I'm sorry, Casper.
bro. Yeah, no. I know you are, but just a disclaimer, bro. You know, the technical director and Louis are both on gummy bears. Just so you know.
No,
bro.
I wouldn't expect otherwise.
Yeah,
But I already assumed that was happening.
I'm here, by the way, just in case. They only mention me every once in a while, but I'm here.
You know what? You know, Carlos. I want to apologize to you, Carlos.
Why?
Because that was totally out of line for him to disclose that.
to blow your
You know
spot
what
like
I'm
that.
saying? That's like you know when you call up a place and you say this call may be recorded. At least they warn you. He didn't warn me, so technically he's in the wrong and he broke the law.
Damn, he crossed the line. He crossed the line, Casper. Damn, Casper.
You know what I'm saying?
Broke the law.
Yeah.
He broke the law.
And the law.
Cabrón. Okay, yeah.
Oh, man.
So yeah, man.
He broke the
So
law.
what's the longest walk you've taken recently, Carlos? I brought another Barbara Walters question, Casper. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carlos.
I just been walking around the neighborhood a little bit, but not that much. That's it. I don't really have.
He said, "What's the longest walk you?"
Oh my God. Okay.
Why do you like the color pews? Tell us about that. Is it mauve or pews? Which one is your favorite?
Where's your favorite place
Oh
to
my
meditate?
God.
Yeah, exactly. But go ahead, tell us about your walk.
Fuck.
Yeah, just
Oh
walking
my God.
around. That's it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Carlos.
No, this is exactly what I was hoping. It's meeting and exceeding my expectations, so it's fine. It's perfect.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
You know what? You know why do you doubt yourself, Casper?
I'm not doubting myself. I'm just wondering why I'm even here.
Wow, bro.
Oh,
Carlos just paid you the biggest compliment, and you're questioning why you're here.
Yeah.
Man, that's
you're
sad,
right.
bro.
You're right.
Carlos, I was listening to you, so I appreciate what you said.
Okay.
Casper,
Now,
pay
if Casper
attention.
can get on board. Just kidding.
Yeah, really. If Casper could just, focus, the only guy who's not on gummies, damn it.
Damn, Oscar.
You know?
Damn, Oscar Casper.
I'm so pissed off because yo no estoy arrebatado. Yo soy el único que estoy tranquilo aquí. Yo estoy buscando al Señor.
Brother, yo no estoy arrebatado. I'm nice, okay?
Yeah, that convinced me, bro. That convinced me.
No estoy
Carlos, you
arrebatado.
completely-
I mean,
No
the guy
estoy
did an image.
arrebatado.
It checks
No
out over here.
estoy,
Checks out.
escúchame, no estoy arrebatado, ¿ok? Yo estoy nice,
Está ahí,
Nice.
está ahí.
¿sabes? Bien,
Welcome to the flight.
ahí, tranquilo. No joda,
Está en
coño.
el flow, está en el flow.
Yeah,
Sí,
man.
sí,
So, what are you gonna make for dinner today, bro? Carlos.
I'm doing some meal prep, so I just cook salmon and vegetable, like un guisadito, and then I make enough for the week. So I have that waiting for me. Un guisadito de salmón con vegetales.
You mean somebody makes it for you and you
No, I
go
made
get it?
No, I make it.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was going to say, send some over to me.
Oh, yeah.
Casper don't like salmon, so
Yeah, I'm sure fish
you don't gotta
is
worry
fine.
about it. Yeah.
To make
What I wanted to ask was, where do you contain it? Is it Tupperware,
yeah.
or are they Amways? What kind of plastic do you use to put the salmon in?
Tupperware.
And how many days of it are you
Casper,
cooking? Is it like 4
why do
days
you-
worth of it, or 5 days?
Casper, just a minute. Casper, why do you assume that they're plastic? They
Well,
make
I
them
was
from
right.
glass. No, they make them from glass too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. You shouldn't have assumed. You
Right?
shouldn't assume, Casper.
Okay.
My fault. I'm just doing everything wrong tonight.
Hey, Freddy, you got a lot to do. You got a lot of soul searching to do, man.
Casper, that's
What's your favorite
Casper, no,
Oreo?
excuse me. You
Now, do you lick the cream, or do you just twist it and then just
Oh my God.
double stuff the filling? What do you do with your Oreos?
Just I go with the flow. Sometimes I double stuff it. Sometimes I eat it all at once. Sometimes I only eat one cookie and then the filling with the other cookie together.
Do you dunk it in milk or no?
No, I don't. I've never been a dunker.
Well, that's some bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
You're not.
I have in the past, but I don't like.
Casper, what I call that? A Richard Simmons question. ¿Qué es eso?
Listen, if it was a Richard Simmons question, we'd be sweating to the oldies.
Damn.
Ay, chu,
People
mira.
are truly Googling all these names that they haven't heard of.
Yeah, they're like, who the hell's Richard Simmons? Did
You
they
know
ever
who Richard
find him?
Simmons is, Casper?
Oh,
Oh no, I completely know
I
who
do. It's
Richard
right to the
Simmons is.
oldies for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a joke.
You're
Unbelievable.
just dating us,
Unbelievable.
Louis. You're just dating us, man. Everybody here is around 40 already. Damn it. Well, not you. You're like 72.
Well, I'm educating people again. They could Google, like, oh my God, Richard Simmons. Oh my God, look, that was crazy back then. Yeah,
I love it
man.
when
Give
he
him-
talks with his mouth full. Go ahead. Take another bite, Louis. Oh, yeah. Chew.
Yeah,
Chew for me, papi. Chew.
Cabrón.
This is getting very, very ASMR-y.
Yeah. It just took a real weird turn.
This is the portion of the
just
show
cleared
where you
my
guys start to
throat.
do ASMR. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm loving it. Love it. Go ahead, Louis. Tell us about that. Now, when you chew, do you chew in little chews, big chews,
Okay, so Carlos, back to you.
deep swallow, nothing? Go ahead. Do you do it with water?
So Carlos, in closing here, because
He just cut
I
you
got-
off, bro. You know that, right? He
yeah,
just cut you off.
fuck yeah, he knows, bro. He got things to do. All right,
Yeah, man,
damn,
I got laundry.
Casper.
I got.
There you go.
Listen, he's in quarantine. This is probably the most exciting shit Carlos done in about a month.
This underwear ain't gonna clean itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well,
So
clean
what
it
kind
up
of
with-
toothpaste? Do you use Scope or Colgate White?
Currently, I'm using Colgate Sensitive for my gums.
Okay.
Ay, Dios
Now, do you use a regular
bendito.
toothbrush or do you have like an electronic
Oh
toothbrush?
shit.
Regular. I never could
Look at that.
get into like the
What kind of soap? Do you use like
What?
liquid soap or do you have a hard soap?
hard soap. I never
Ay,
got
qué
into
idiota.
the. Never
Oh, you
got
like
into
the
the
soap
liquid
bars?
soap.
You don't like the
Qué
body wash?
idiota.
No, I can never get into it. It really feels weird to me.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? What's wrong
Casper,
with
tú
it?
no te bañas porque tú
Preference.
estás haciendo tanta pregunta de jabón y ¿qué es eso?
Now, since you've been home for like
You
a
know-
month, did you even put socks on?
Carlos, you know what he uses, for liquid?
What?
Fucking vinegar, bro. Apple vinegar.
Oh boy. Well, I
Yeah,
that's
Saturday.
got a
Oh, hell yeah.
antiseptic- Antiseptic.
Yeah, I have to
action.
wait 3 days till I can hang out with him. Casper, don't hang up on me.
I gave up on you like 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, I
Please
really,
tell me
no, I can't believe that because you are doing so well. So well.
Well, you
real.
interrupted my 2002 question, and then when I started asking about the soaps, you were offended
Bro, are
again.
you- are you still
I don't even
on
know what
that?
I'm allowed to ask Carlos. What am I allowed to ask him, Louis? What am I allowed to ask him? Huh?
Whatever you want.
No,
Can
bro.
I ask a question?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Our technical
this?
director, Gustavo. Go ahead, bro.
So, Carlos,
The voice of God.
what advice would you give a young actor or artist right now trying to make it, especially with everything going on? You know, maybe give a bit of advice for the kids out there.
Sure. I think we're in a good time to do shit on our own. Like the best thing you can do is learn to use everything that's in front of you. If you're an actor, try to create your own work, write, produce, shoot, like get yourself, because that, especially around these times where you're just sitting around waiting for the next thing to come. That's just like time that you can, help you like get better, so that when the opportunity does come, you will be ready. And also, like I said, with the thing, like you just gotta get rejected a lot, so you finally get past it. You gotta get past that point of like rejection is just another thing, so that you can truly be confident in front of it's just like anything. You get reps, like in stand up, you gotta get in front of everybody to get to a point where you know how to handle it. And with audition, I feel like auditions is such a different animal than acting. Like I don't think they're the same thing. I think the process of auditioning is so separate. It's completely separate from actually booking a role. And the fact that I did Gentefied proves it, because living with a character for 10 episodes, I've never had that before. And it's it changes the game as opposed to having to memorize 8 pages in less than 24 hours just to try to like put out an audition. So definitely, like I said, you have to be a little jaded. I think it comes with like really taking the licks and cogiendo cantazos, así que se aprende.
Yeah,
much.
that's right.
Y hablando de creating, what's your social media handle so people could go ahead and check out some of your work? Because I know on Instagram you sometimes put the app where you look like a viejito.
Yeah.
And you start going into
Sí. Abuelo está chacho.
You can find me on Instagram at Of Course It's Carlos. At Of Course It's Carlos. And Twitter at It's Carlos Santos. And that's basically where I move between those two for the most part.
Sweet.
Okay.
Y ya.
So
eso
you're easy to find. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That was real sarcastic. Did you get that, Carlos? You're easy to find, bro. Great.
I'm going to assume positive intentions. I'm going to assume positive intentions at all times. That's...